Hello and a warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV News Cycle in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. President Bola Tinubu has announced the appointment of the Group Managing Director of Mojak, Chantel Abdul, as one of the non-executive directors of the board of the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, MOFI. The ministry is an investment vehicle of the federal government to manage investment and diverse portfolios of over 130 asset classification, including the government-owned entities, GOEs, and government-linked companies, GLCs. Commenting on her appointment, Chantel, who transformed Mojak into a metering empire, evolving into a conglomerate that stands as the largest electricity meter in the sub-Saharan Africa, says the appointment gives her the opportunity to contribute her expertise to address several economic challenges and spur a renewal of the economy. The Citizens' Town Hall engagement on the 2024 budget and appropriation process has commenced in Abuja. The event, put together by the House Committee on Appropriation and the program's coordinating unit, Office of the Speaker of Representatives, attracted many personalities, including the chairman of the Appropriation Committee, Kabir Abubakar, his deputy, Uduma Enwo, and immediate past National Secretary of the All Progressive Congress, Iola Omishore, among others. In his welcome address, Kabir stated that the purpose of the gathering was to enhance citizens' involvement in the appropriation process. This town hall is important in promoting the integrity of the budgeting process. The federal government is seeking the partnership of the United Arab Emirates Red Crescent Authority to implement the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu's policy on humanitarian response in Nigeria. Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, made this known when she visited the acting Secretary General of the UAE Red Crescent, Hamoud Al-Junaibi, on the sideline of COP28 to foster partnerships between the two countries. Edu, who commended the UAE Red Crescent Authority for their impact in the region, appealed that it is time to expand their intervention to Nigeria and other African countries. Responding, the Acting Secretary General of UAE Red Crescent Authority, His Excellency Ahmad Abdullahi Al-Junaibi, said the ERCA was pleased to work with the Nigerian government through its humanitarian and poverty alleviation community policies and initiatives. Some of the specific areas of partnership requests include the regional humanitarian hub system, durable shelter, nutrition, safe water, access to quality health care, and grants to vulnerable for livelihood, among others. The federal government has released the sum of 135,479,884,670 naira 2 kobo as reimbursement to state and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) after the second independent assessment of results achieved under the Nigeria COVID-19 Action, Recovery and Economic Stimulus, a World Bank-assisted performance for results program. The National Coordinator of NG Cares Program, Abdul Karim Obaje, who announced the disbursement in Abuja, said the funds were disbursed based on the results achieved by the state and FCT in their efforts at supporting poor and vulnerable Nigerians under the NG Cares Program. The House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts, PAC, has demanded the chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, appear for questioning over the alleged recovery of COVID-19 intervention funds released to all federal institutions across the country. Chairman of PAC, Bamidele Salam, made a demand after the investigative hearing into the utilization of multi-billion naira approved for the implementation of various projects in various health institutions. The PSC chairman frowned at the level of disregard for extant financial regulations as well as Public Procurement Act, which stipulates deductible taxes from contracts awarded by public institutions. The Plateau State House of Assembly on Monday warned the state chapter of the All Progressives Congress against causing any breach of the peace in the state, saying that the House is still on recess. The 24-member assembly, dominated by People's Democratic Party lawmaker, had adjourned plenary till January. However, 3 days later, the Court of Appeal sacked all the 16 PDP lawmakers in the state and declared candidates of the All Progressives Congress winners of the elections conducted in their various constituencies. Addressing the allegation that the House was closed to prevent the newly declared lawmakers from resuming, the Speaker, Gabriel Dewan, who was elected on the platform of Young Progressives Party, in a statement clarified that he did not close the House purposely to prevent the swearing in of incoming members. The National Youth Service Corps NYSC Foundation has taken steps to empower youths in the country with the disbursement of 400,000 naira loan for each of the 7 distinguished corps members selected to enable them invest in their preferred businesses. Speaking at the disbursement ceremony at NYSC Directorate Headquarters at the Gowon House, Abuja, the NYSC Director General Yushal Ahmed advised the beneficiaries to be prudent in their usage of the loans. Global Television's correspondent Anthony Momodu tells us more.
General Ahmed, who was represented, warned the beneficiaries to be prudent in the usage of the loans received as they are meant to pay back, thus the need to be steadfast and successful.
To further improve the quality of the Nigerian youth. Because a youth that doesn't have meaningful engagement, that doesn't have a business, that is not employed, cannot be expected to contribute to the development of any nation.
A fulfillment of our pledge. That pledge publicly in the presence of the last president. And the NYSC Foundation is committed to redeeming that pledge.
We all have to find a way to add up something to make the system work. And we are just making our own contribution from it. From the bit we can make the contribution, we believe that it will make an impact to change the situation of the economy.
The beneficiaries of the loans expressed their appreciation for the loans with a promise to judiciously use the loans for their personal success and that of the foundation.
We are going to make the best out of this seed capital, and we promise to make good use of it, and we know that at the end we shall all represent this nation as youths that have been empowered.
They're supposed to start a business, they're supposed to run the business, and we give them a 3-month moratorium before they start paying. They have a 3-month period to run the business, start up the business, and on the 4th month, they start paying us for a period of 2 years.
The National Youth Service Corps Foundation steps to empower youth in the country with the disbursement of 400,000 naira loan is no small drive in improving not just the economic fortunes of the citizenry, but the nation as a whole. Anthony Momodu, Global Television, Abuja.
The Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to identify within 90 days its officials involved in the registration of the underage during the continuous voters registration CVR exercise in polling units across the country. Justice Obiora Egwuatu, in a judgment, also directed the culprits to be produced and handed over to the appropriate law enforcement agency for investigation and possible prosecution. Justice Egwuatu equally made a mandatory order compelling INEC to expunge forthwith from its national voters register the names of all the underage voters from each of the polling units across the Federation, published on her website as identified and compiled by the plaintiff in Exhibit A, attached to the affidavit in support of the originating summons. The judge further made a mandatory order compelling the Commission to furnish the plaintiff with a certified true copy (CTC) of the cleaned-up National Voters Register of all the persons eligible to vote in Nigeria within 90 days. The Anambra State Markets Amalgamated Traders Association, the umbrella body of all traders in Anambra, has vowed to generate 5 billion naira for the Anambra State government before the end of 2023 to drive state infrastructural development. The ASMATA President General Chief Humphrey Anuna stated this on Monday after a closed-door executive meeting of the association held at its secretariat in Onitsha, the commercial city of the state. Anuna said the move was part of the group's efforts towards increasing the revenue base of the state government to enable the state governor Chukwuma Soludo to pursue his smart city agenda. He recalled that on assumption of office in 2022, the current executive members of ASMATA generated an unprecedented 2.9 billion naira for the state government. The Nigerian Army has taken responsibility for Sunday's airstrike that left many villagers killed and several others injured at Sudumberi village in Kaduna State. Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, said this at the end of an emergency security meeting on Monday. It was earlier reported that on Sunday night, while the villagers were marking the Maulud celebration to commemorate the birth of Prophet Muhammad, an unarmed air vehicle bombed some parts of the community, killing a yet-to-be-ascertained number of individuals. Following the incident, the Kaduna State government convened an emergency security meeting chaired by the Deputy Governor, Dr. Hadiza Balarabe, on Monday. It was at the meeting, which was attended by heads of security agencies, religious and traditional leaders, and representatives of the Sudumberi community, that core details regarding the incident were revealed. Addressing journalists after the security meeting held behind closed doors, Arun explained that the bombing of the villagers was unintended and unfortunate. The commissioner explained that the troops of the Nigerian Army were on a routine mission against terrorists in the area when the operation accidentally affected members of the community. He also disclosed that the search and rescue operations were ongoing, while those injured were rushed to the Barrow Dikot Teaching Hospital for treatment. Commandant General of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Ahmed Audi, has tasked security agencies to collaborate in order to evolve strategies aimed at addressing security threats, thereby fostering seamless synergy. Audi gave the charge during a two-day workshop for security agencies in Abuja titled Promoting Collaboration Among Security Agencies for heads of security agencies in some select Nigerian states. Global TV correspondent Sobra Usman was at the workshop and brings us details.
Dr. Abubakar Audi said there's need for evaluation of security strategies that can pull resources and expertise together in tackling the various security challenges bedeviling the nation, and hence the workshop is apt. He urged heads of security agencies to promote interagency cooperation and stop agency rivalry and build security capacity.
It's organized, with an objective of bringing all security agencies together to harp on the discussion on solutions, security and safety for Nigerians, as far as this asymmetric conflict is concerned. And so I think we're on the right path. We're on the right path. Going forward, you will see more strategies put in place more conspicuously to actually go further to degrade the insecurity situation.
Deputy Resident Director Conrad Adenua Stiftung Nigeria, Lucas Libo, says the training will foster interagency conflict resolutions and build harmonious relationships.
So what we are aiming with this seminar is to better interagency collaboration and coordination, and we hope that with this seminar the agencies and the head of agencies will get to know each other better and have a better understanding, to know each other better will be the basis for better collaboration, coordination and cooperation, and we are sure with this seminar the security agencies will can be a better part to better the security situation in Nigeria.
Speaking on the topic, rule of law and security sector governance, Dr. Uju Agomo appealed to security agencies to observe rule of law and not abuse the law of the land. Swabwa Usman, Global Television News, Abuja.
Thousands of temporary J-Teach teachers under Jigawa state government have embarked on peaceful protest and disrupted the aptitude test organized by the State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, for the recruitment of 6,000 teachers. Chairman of the board, Haruna Musa, reportedly escaped death in one of the centers at Federal University Dutse. The candidates had protested over alleged plan by some officials to hijack the recruitment process against Governor Umar Namadi's instruction for a transparent process. Speaking to newsmen on behalf of the aggrieved J-Teach candidates, Abbas Al-Jara said 4,500 of them were recruited last 2 years, and in the process, they underwent 5 different aptitude tests and 3 verification exercises. According to him, subjecting them to another round of tests with freshers raises suspicion that the organizers of the test have a hidden agenda. And the management of University of Calabar, UNICAL, has suspended the new charges and levies it announced earlier till further notice. This is coming on the heels of the peaceful protest by students of the institution on Monday over decision of management to increase their tuition fees and other levies in a statement signed by the public relations officer of the university, Effiong Eyo. The management announced that it has suspended payment of school charges to further notice. A release issued by the registrar of the University of Calabar, Gabriel Egbe, disclosed that the directive is coming on the heels of a protest embarked upon by students of the institution over the recent adjustment in undergraduate school charges. Recall that the management of the University of Calabar announced an increase in the university's tuition fees for undergraduates by over 100%. The announcement, which was made in a statement available to newsmen on Monday through the institution's spokesman, Effiong Eyo, said the upward review of the fees was taken at an emergency meeting of the university's Senate on Friday, and that the implementation of the upward review would take effect in 2022 to 2023 and from 2023 to 2024 academic sessions. You're watching Global TV News Cycle, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the news cycle returns, Mount Parapi, 11 hikers killed as volcano erupts in Indonesia. The news continues shortly. Please stay with us. You're welcome back. The president of Guinea-Bissau, Umaru Embalo, issued a decree on Monday dissolving the parliament after an attempted coup in the West African nation. Violence had erupted between members of the National Guard and special forces of the Presidential Guard on Thursday night in the capital, Bissau, leaving 2 people dead before the army ordered its forces back to barracks. Embalo, who was in Dubai attending the COP28 climate conference, arrived back in Bissau on Saturday and announced that an attempted coup d'etat had prevented him from returning earlier. On Monday, he said there had been complicity between the National Guard and certain political interests within the state apparatus. That meant the normal functioning of the institutions of the Republic has become impossible. So on the foreign scene, the United States has applauded President Bola Tinubu's administration for taking bold steps at bolstering the economy and ensuring sustainable growth and development. The charge d'affaires at the U.S. Embassy in Abuja, David Green, acknowledged the federal government's effort, saying that U.S. investors were delighted by the economic agenda of the current administration, recalling President Tinubu's visit to New York during the last United Nations General Assembly, which attracted officials of the Commerce and Cooperation of the U.S. Trade and Investment. The envoy said although the federal government was putting measures in place to stabilize the economy, more should be done to create an environment that would attract investors to the country. Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan is cutting short her attendance at the COP28 Climate Summit amid deadly floods and landslide back home. At least 50 people in the northern Hanang region died after disaster struck over the weekend. The leader's spokesperson affirmed that around 5,600 people have been affected. Homes and infrastructure were damaged by the heavy rains, which have also had an impact on farmland, directly threatening the people's livelihoods. 400 rescue workers have been sent to Hanang region. However, in a statement released on Monday, UNUS stated that the rescuers are operating under challenging conditions such as defective telecommunications and blocked/damaged roads. 11 hikers have been found dead near the crater of Indonesia's Merapi volcano after it erupted over the weekend. 3 people were rescued on Monday. The search for 12 others missing has been suspended due to a small eruption. There were 75 hikers in the area at the time of the eruption, but most were safely evacuated. Mount Merapi, one of Indonesia's 127 active volcanoes, spilled ash as high as 3 kilometers into the air on Sunday. Authorities have imposed the second highest alert level and prohibited residents from going within 3 kilometers of the crater. The 3 people rescued, who were also found near the crater, were weak and had some burns. Head of the Penang search says 49 climbers were evacuated from the area early on Monday, many of whom also suffers burns. A magnitude of 5.1 earthquake struck just south of Istanbul on Monday, rattling parts of Turkey's largest city but causing no immediate injuries or damages. The earthquake's epicenter was in the Marmara Sea's Gemlik Bay, which lies about 60 kilometers south of Istanbul, near the city of Bursa. According to the AFAD emergency service, Turkey's most populated city is situated near the North Anatolian Fault, one of the most active in the world. And in business, the federal government says it will soon commence disbursement of funds under its presidential palliative program targeted at alleviating the impacts of fuel subsidy removal. In a statement by the Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Uzoka-Anite, said the programs consisted of the Presidential Conditional Grant Program and the Presidential Palliative Loan Program. For the Presidential Palliative Loan Program, it said the federal government will disburse 75 billion naira to micro, small and medium-sized enterprises across various sectors and 75 billion naira specifically to manufacturers. The loan would be administered to the beneficiaries at a single-digit interest rate of 9 per annum. And the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has granted taxpayers and businesses full waiver on accumulated penalties and interest for outstanding tax liabilities. Chairman of the FIRS, Zak Adedeji, disclosed this in a press release issued during the weekend and signed by his special advisor on media, Dare Adekombi, noting that the waiver of interest is subject to the full settlement of outstanding principal on or before the 31st of December 2023. The FIRS boss acknowledged that the concession also in line with the commitment of President Bola Tinubu's economic agenda to support businesses to thrive, reiterating that the full penalty and interest shall be reinstated after the expiration of this one-off concession window. And that's it on Global TV News Cycle. Don't forget we're on Start Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I am Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.